Please, just some soup for my sister. I'm hungry. In the freezing cold, two little girls clutching 20 cents stood in front of my store. Affected by urban development, my store had lost almost all its customers, and on this particularly cold day, all the seats were empty, just as I was about to close up for the day. Mia, upon seeing the little girls, hurriedly brought them inside and said to me, "Hey, let's feed them plenty." Right. No customers were coming anyway. We had plenty of ingredients left. We'll treat them to a feast. At that time, I had no idea these little girls would become a beacon of hope for my small diner, which was on the verge of closing. I'm Sean, 30 years old. Together with my wife Mia, we run a small diner. When we first opened, we had a good number of customers, and their smiles filled our store. But that bustle is now a distant memory. The passage of time is always cruel. As urban development progressed around us, our customers gradually dwindled. Mia, good work today. You too. Did we get enough customers today? Well, it was so-so, but definitely not like when we first opened. Now, our sales are a fraction of what they were at the beginning. We've been in a slump for a while. I'm confident in our flavors, so most people who come in become repeat customers. But the problem is, not many people come in to begin with. I let out a sigh. Seeing me like this, Mia gently placed her hand on mine. But there are customers who smile because of your cooking. That's the best encouragement for us, right? Yeah, you're right, Mia. The exterior of our restaurant is quaint, to put it nicely, but frankly, it's run down, and young people hardly ever come near it. But even if we wanted to change the look, we'd need money for that. With hardly any revenue, affording renovation costs is out of the question. We've tried distributing flyers and talking to people to attract customers, but it seems to have little effect. If this continues, we might have to close down. Did you say something? Mia apparently hadn't heard my mutter and tilted her head in confusion. Seeing her like that, I forced a smile, trying to shake off my gloomy mood. Mia, let's think of a new menu to attract even more people. Yes, let's do our best. Though I knew coming up with a new menu wouldn't necessarily bring in more customers, it was all we could do in our situation. It was one particular day. The cold was so intense it felt like it might snow at any moment. Perhaps due to the cold, or maybe because our store had always been quiet. We had almost no visitors that day either. Shall we close up for the day? Let's eat something warm. Yeah, it's really cold today. Shivering, Mia saw me and chuckled. I'll go take down the sign. Wait, I'll help you. Then, let's do it together. Calling out to Mia as she walked to the entrance, she turned around and waited for me. I hurried over to her side and opened the double doors next to the entrance. And then, we finally noticed a presence beyond the door. Huh? Oh, there stood two young little girls. Their cheeks, battered by the freezing cold wind, were so red it pained me just to look at them. Clutched in their numb hand was 20 cents. Are you okay? What happened? Mia, surprised and flustered by their appearance, quickly bombarded them with questions. The girls, startled by Mia's voice, shivered slightly but soon began to speak. Please, just some soup for my sister. The slightly taller girl said, who was presumably the elder sister. She was holding her sister's hand with one hand and extending the 20 cents to us with the other. I'm hungry. The younger sister repeated these words over and over, trembling. Their situation was unbearable to witness, and Mia was the first to act. It's cold out here, isn't it? Come inside. Mia kindly invited the girls into the store, and she whispered to me as we crossed paths. Let's feed them plenty. Right. No customers were coming anyway. We had plenty of ingredients left. We'll treat them to a feast. At this moment, I didn't realize these little girls would become a beacon of hope for our diner, which seemed on the brink of collapse. We decided to treat the girls to fried chicken. As soon as they entered the store and muttered fried chicken, that settled it. The moment we heard those words, Mia and I exchanged glances and smiled a little. We had been unsure about what to serve them, but it seemed our worries were unnecessary. Here you go. Fried chicken for you. Fried chicken. Placing fried chicken before them, they looked at them with sparkling eyes and smiles. Indeed, having smiles in the store felt wonderful. At first, they seemed hesitant to start eating, but as soon as they took their first bites, their smiles burst forth. Yummy. From then on, their hearty eating alone seemed enough to fill me up. Me and I watched over them with smiles as they happily and deliciously munched away. However, with no parents around and them being out in such cold weather, hungry to this extent, it seemed there was a story behind it, but trying to ask them might make them wary, especially coming from me. Indeed, when I placed the fried chicken before them, there was a hint of wariness towards me. With this in mind, I whispered to Mia, Mia, what? Could you try asking the girls about their situation? I think they'd be less wary of you. Mia nodded in agreement to my request and slowly approached the girls. I didn't come closer but moved to a spot where I could still hear their conversation. Is the fried chicken good? As Mia gently spoke to the girls, they flinched slightly but then nodded vigorously. I'm glad. Are you getting full? Could you tell me your names, if that's okay? After exchanging glances, the somewhat taller girl, presumably the elder sister, finally spoke up. I'm Mila, and this is my sister, Maya. Mia smiled at Mila and Maya, who first pointed to herself and then to her sister as they answered, and sat down on a nearby chair. Ah, thank you. Such lovely names. When Mia praised their names, the two showed a slightly joyful smile. So, Maya, why were you outside our diner? Where are your parents? Mia asked, and the two hesitated to answer. They must have had a difficult situation to discuss. However, they seemed to be trying to say something, starting with well, if we waited patiently without rushing them, they might share their story with us. After a moment, deciding to open up, they began to speak hesitantly. Our house, it burned down, and we escaped here. Mom and Dad are at work tonight, so they're not home. Is that so? Do you know how to contact your parents, or where they work? We don't know. Me neither. Mia gently stroked their heads with a soft icy, as they looked downheartedly. Considering their parents must be worried, I decided to call the police. After explaining the situation, the police said they would contact the parents. However, there was no contact with the parents for a while. The police arrived at the restaurant, and it seemed there was a problem. In cases like this, normally, they would be taken into care at a facility. Could it be that they are full? Yes, all the nearby facilities are at capacity. As the police expressed their frustration, Mila and Maya, sensing something unsettling, clung tightly to Mia and stared at us. For now, we can take them into custody. Maya, will you come with me? As the police approached, the girls clung tighter to Mia. Maya, the officer is calling for you. Mia gently urged them towards the police, trying to detach them. No. The more we tried to separate them, the more tearful and close to crying they became. Understandably so, after a house fire and the fear they experienced, along with the bitter cold and having nowhere to go. Finally finding a semblance of safety only to be moved again would be too harsh. With that thought, I made a suggestion. How about we keep the children here for the night? They've been through a lot of scary experiences. It might be too much to move them around more. That makes sense. Okay, could we ask you to keep them for just one night? We'll inform you once we've contacted their parents. Yes, that would be great, thank you. Mila and Maya, still not fully understanding the conversation, clung tightly to Mia. But as the police left, they hesitantly approached me and gently tugged at the edge of my clothes. What's going to happen to us? I don't want to be scared anymore. I gently embraced the two frightened girls. You'll be staying here tonight. Here. Can we have a sleepover? Is that okay? Yes, I got permission from the officers earlier, so it's okay. Telling them this, their expressions instantly changed from fear to the brightest smiles I had seen on them yet. Yay! Their voices of joy echoed loudly through the restaurant, making it a lively night. The night was filled with uproar. They were so lively after their bath, and before bedtime. Seemingly unable to calm their excitement, they wanted to play, engaging the entire house in a boisterous game of hide and seek. How adorable! Mia remarked, constantly by Mila and Maya's side, holding their hands until they fell asleep. Tired from playing, the two slept soundly, and Mia and I laughed together at their peaceful faces. The next day, we received a call from the police saying they had made contact with the parents. They had been searching for their daughters at the station. We immediately took Mila and Maya to the police station, where people resembling their parents were present, and the girls joyfully ran to them. However, something seemed off. The father's face had a somber look. After glancing at Mila and Maya and then at us, he started saying, "Thank you for taking care of my daughters." "Oh, it's nothing. But what will you do now?" Given their house had burned down, presumably, the parents also lost their home. If they worked night shifts, the likelihood of Mila and Maya ending up in a similar situation again crossed my mind. Well, we have no home to return to, so we thought about going back to our parents, but they are quite elderly. Suddenly expecting aged parents to take care of children. We considered renting nearby, but finding a place immediately, especially with 2 children, is difficult. This must be what it means to be at a loss. With no clear way to proceed and feeling cornered from all sides, anyone would wear a somber expression. It would be strange not to. As we pondered what to do, Mia opened her mouth. "What if we take care of Mila and Maya for you?" "Huh?" The father looked astonished, unable to comprehend what had been offered. "No, but, well." Taken aback by the unexpected offer, the father's eyes darted around. The mother looked equally puzzled, locking eyes with him. "We couldn't possibly leave our children with strangers," he hesitated. I understood their reaction completely. At the same time, it was clear the parents cherished Mila and Maya deeply, sparking in me a desire to help them in any way we could. Yet, what to do? As I pondered, Mila and Maya seemed eager to share with their mother about the previous day. "Mom, these people gave us lots of delicious fried chicken. We want to come back and play here again." They seemed to really like us, eager to tell their mother about all the fun and food they had enjoyed. "Mila and Maya really love you guys," the mother observed, seeing their broad smiles. "Jer," the girls agreed enthusiastically. Seeing this, the mother seemed to make up her mind, nodding decisively before speaking to the father. Maybe we could take them up on their offer. But the father hesitated. If the kids are this attached to them, they can't be bad people, the mother reasoned. Convinced by her words, the father took another look at his children, who nodded in agreement, and he seemed to relax, exhaling deeply. Then, turning to us, he asked, "Could we entrust our daughters to you until we're ready?" There was no reason for us to refuse. "Yes, we'll take good care of your daughters," we promised. And so, we agreed to take care of Mila and Maya. Though they seemed a bit sad to be leaving their parents, understanding they would be with us brought visible joy to their faces. But the happiest face of all wasn't Mila's or Maya's, it was Mia's. Seeing that made me feel a bit sorry. The truth was, we had always wanted children, but hadn't been blessed with any. Although the doctor hadn't told us to give up, the stress had taken a toll on our relationship, worsening it. So, we had decided to give up on having children and instead focused on nurturing our restaurant as a substitute. However, it seemed Mia hadn't been able to let go of her longing for children. "What do you both like?" "I like fried chicken." "Haha, you both said that at the same time. You really do love fried chicken, don't you?" Whenever Mila and Maya wanted to play, Mia played with them. Whenever they wanted something to eat, she cooked for them. Mia was pouring her heart out with love for the 2 girls. After a while, when Mila and Maya had gotten used to living with us, they approached me and said, "We want to help out at the restaurant." I was delighted by their offer, but with the restaurant not attracting many customers, there wasn't much for them to do, which left me puzzled. How about distributing flyers? Okay. So, Mila and Maya went out to distribute flyers with Mia. Perhaps moved by the sight of the little girls handing out flyers with all their might, a few more people started coming to the restaurant. From then on, Mila and Maya began to help out with serving customers at the restaurant. Welcome. Even though it was just a greeting, their fearless and friendly approach made them popular with the customers, turning them into the restaurant's little mascots. Gradually, the restaurant began to see more customers and started bustling with smiles and laughter. That made me very happy, and I tousled Mila and Maya's hair, saying, "You two have a talent for making people smile." I was so grateful that their presence had started to turn our business around. Thinking of what I could do for them, I asked if they wanted anything. "We want a picture book." It turned out they were interested in a picture book about 2 little girls becoming pop stars. Buying the book felt a bit embarrassing, but I managed to purchase it and handed it to them, which made them very happy. Thank you. I've been really interested in this one. I'm so happy. If you're happy, then I'm glad. The girls on the cover of this book look like you too. Really? Yeah, really. You two have a way of relating to people that could make you great at jobs involving interaction with others. So maybe being pop stars could be your calling. Pop stars, huh? They looked at the cover of the picture book, then at each other, and seemed genuinely pleased. I wondered what kind of adults they would grow into, feeling an increasing desire to watch over them as the days passed. But whether it's sad or happy, the time to say goodbye eventually came. 2 months after taking Mila and Maizen, their parents came to pick them up. The father thanked us with much gratitude. Thank you very much for everything. We've finally gotten things settled at home and can take Mila and Maya back. We can be a family again. Thank you, truly. It was our pleasure. We were the ones who were blessed by your daughters. Thank you. The mother also thanked us with all her heart. Mia, perhaps sad about parting with Mila and Maya, hugged them and shed a few tears. Come visit us again, okay? Yeah, we'll come back to play. We'll write you letters. Mila and Maya, hugging Mia back, were also crying. I felt a lump in my throat but held back my tears until I saw them walking away, hand in hand with their parents. It wasn't until they were out of sight that I couldn't hold back anymore and cried, a little shamefully. It would be nice to see them again someday. Right, we'll definitely meet again. We promised, after all, I said, and Mia gave a small smile, saying, yes, we did. Then, 10 years passed. Initially, we did receive letters from Mila and Maya, but gradually their responses ceased, and recently, we only received Christmas cards. They must be busy, in the midst of their youth and all. Mia seemed a bit sad that the replies had stopped and we were only getting Christmas cards, but she was happy to see the energetic appearances of the two in the photos on the cards. Man, no customers came again today. The restaurant situation hadn't been good. Urban development had progressed further, making our financial situation even more challenging. We had kept going, hoping Mila and Maya would come to the restaurant again, but just having the spirit wasn't enough to overcome some challenges. If only urban development was the only issue. Recently, a certain individual's visits had made managing the business even harder. Today, the restaurant's entrance bell rang again, but it wasn't a customer who entered, it was that person. Hey there. Really empty again today, huh? Why don't you just sell this place already? Keeping it open is just bleeding you dry, isn't it? Haha. The person was Kyle, a bill collector. He had come to collect payments time and again, and each time we refused, he would spread baseless rumors that our restaurant was infested with bugs or had rats, causing us reputational damage. Despite us thinking that no one would believe such rumors, the almost zero patronage made the outcome clear. Maybe it was time to give up. I felt sorry for Mila and Maya and for Mia, who had been with me through it all, but perhaps closing the restaurant was the right decision. That's when it happened. Mia came running from the back of the restaurant. She had been on the phone until just a moment ago, and in a hurried tone, she said, "Dear, we just got a call about allowing a TV crew to film in our restaurant." What? Really? It seems they're coming with a popular celebrity. This could be our chance. Hearing this, Kyle just smirked disdainfully, as if a TV feature at this point wouldn't make any difference, mocking us. But this could be our opportunity to prove him wrong. Mia, let's do the TV interview. It was a gamble of a lifetime. If it went well, the restaurant could continue. If not, it would end up just as Kyle wanted, gone. But I wouldn't let that happen. Not by a long shot. In preparation for the TV crew's visit, Mia and I cleaned the restaurant and rehearsed for any possible questions. And then, the day of the TV interview arrived. I had only managed a few hours of sleep the night before due to nervousness. Trying to calm my racing heart with deep breaths, the familiar sound of the bell signaled a visitor. Wow, it hasn't changed at all. Look, Maya, look at that. What was that, Mila? Oh, they still have the fried chicken. Yay. The names I heard were those I had often heard and said myself. Looking towards the source of the voices, I saw Mila and Maya standing there, not as the little girls we said goodbye to, but as fully grown adults, dressed glamorously. Mila, Maya. As I called out their names in surprise, they responded with the same full smiles I remembered. "We're back. Why are you two here? Didn't you hear about the TV interview? That a celebrity was coming." "We heard, but that celebrity is us." To our surprise, Mila and Maya had grown up to become pop stars and were now a popular duo. Mia was as shocked as I was, her mouth agape in astonishment. When we heard about the TV segment titled "The Flavor That Supported Us," we immediately thought of your restaurant. "We requested your restaurant for the feature. Thank you for agreeing to the interview," they said, and all I could manage was a stunned yare. I only remember bits and pieces of the interview. It seems that being too astonished can indeed cause one's memory to scatter. Part of what I do remember is that Mila and Maya said they decided to become pop stars because of us and this diner. We started pursuing our careers because Sean said we had the talent to make people smile. He might have been joking when he said being pop stars could be our calling, but we remembered it all along. We became pop stars because we wanted to support people working hard. Hearing them say that during the interview, I couldn't stop my tears. The fact that they remembered a casual comment of mine and chose it as their future path was incredibly moving. "Sean, are you crying? Are you okay? What happened?" Trying to reassure the concerned duo, I wiped away my tears and gave them a smile. "I'm just really happy, you know." When I looked at Mia, she was also tearfully happy, nodding strongly in agreement. Following that event, our lives became much busier. Our diner started attracting lines of customers every day, filled with laughter and smiles. "Mia, 2 more orders of fried chicken." Right away. The impact of Mila and Maya was immense. They promoted our restaurant on their social media, and along with the TV exposure, we were busier than ever. All the menu development and taste research we had continued over the years paid off, with customers saying, "The food here is delicious," and the number of repeat visitors skyrocketed. Then, he showed up again. "Hey, what's with all this buzz? And hey, doesn't the place look nicer?" Kyle, who always came during slow times, was shocked by the restaurant's bustling atmosphere and its renovation. No wonder, the restaurant was in the midst of transitioning from its old, weathered look to a modern appearance. Watching the astonished Kyle, I signaled to the two in the back of the restaurant. Mila and Maya were furious about what had happened at our diner. They were particularly upset with Kyle and had asked to be present at this moment. When they appeared, Kyle looked even more startled. "You're the one who's been terrible to them, spreading rumors that aren't true. That's really low." They spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. The surrounding customers began to give Kyle cold looks. Feeling the hostile gaze, Kyle stepped back in fear. Standing before him, with Mila and Maya at my side, I declared, "We won't let anyone take our diner." "I'm sorry." Kyle apologized before being told to leave, which he did hastily. Mila and Maya cheered, "We did it," and the customers joined in their celebration. From that day on, our restaurant was no longer affected by Kyle's malicious rumors or the urban development. It was bustling every day, regardless of the time. Mia and I lead fulfilling days, busy yet content. Mila and Maya are touring the country with their concerts, but they always make sure to visit when they're in town. Thanks to them, many celebrities have also started visiting our restaurant. "Excuse me, can I place an order?" Customers keep coming in waves, and orders follow nonstop. Previously, Mia handled the orders, but now, her hands are too full to manage alone. "Yes, I'll be right there." I immediately rushed to the call of a customer. My face was likely filled with a beaming smile. Initially, we were the ones who saved Mila and Maya, but as it turned out, they ended up saving us. The bond we share is indeed mysterious, reminding me to cherish even the smallest connections. I vow to protect this diner, saved from closure by Mila and Maya, treasuring it dearly.